Thank you for joining the Friends I View Spoilers. This is Shaun with my buddy Jose.
Hello, hello.
So we did one of your movies called Trigger Warning.
Yes.
Now, I didn't know what I was going to think about this because, obviously for these reviews, I don't read reviews. I don't really look at the trailers. I just kind of go in. Jessica Alba, has been in lots of movies. She's a decent actress. She hasn't really done a lot of action movies. I mean, I know she did like the Fantastic Four and a couple probably others as well, but I don't really remember her being in action thrillers, So I didn't kind of went in this kind of not knowing what to expect. So how would you rate this bad boy?
For me, I would have to give it a 4.
Ooh, you went lower than me.
It's not. I think it was more because of how it was written. I don't think it was written as good. I wasn't really fully engaged in it.
Yeah.
In the entire storyline, I can probably go up to a 4.5, maybe 5. But there are some things for me in that movie that were not believable. Well,
believe me, there was plenty not believable that was realistic.
So, and that's for me as an action-packed movie. Like you want, for me, I would like to see things that can probably at least happen. So, but that's why I would have to go 4, maybe 4.5 at the most for me because of the fact that story in itself was not believable.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely had some issues. Definitely had some things that were, challenges, you say.
Yeah. Now, I like Jessica Alba, don't get me wrong. And plenty of things that she has done that I wholeheartedly liked. And I will still continue to watch her. But this script probably wasn't one of her best. Not her as far as acting, but her as far as the script itself. Probably not a vehicle that she should have done.
Yeah, like I gave it a 5 or 6 on mine.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, some of the stuff that was unrealistic because as we both write screenplays.
Yes.
We're gonna write an action thriller, which I've written.
Yes.
Which is at market right now.
Yes.
Everything in there is about as realistic as you can be. Now, obviously, you can't go completely like real life, because if you did like real life to the T, movies would end in 5 seconds.
Sure.
John Wick. Remember when that scene where like 20 guys go in his house, kills 20 bodies. They're laying there on the ground. The police guy comes to the door, looks in, sees the body, and then just goes, "Have a great night, John." That would never happen in real life, okay? 99.9% of us, if a cop looked in our door and saw a dead body, we going to jail. That's it. So... Because one of the challenges is that on the very opening scene, right?
Yes.
It made me laugh actually because you had like a couple of people in this armored truck, or not even armored truck, but it was just a truck,
like a first aid they used as a first aid truck, kind of like a relief. Yeah,
it wasn't like a Humvee, but it kind of gave off like special forces vibes.
Yes.
And then when they the dude got his head shot, they crashed, but there were no bodies, none at all.
Yeah,
there was at least 2 to 3 bodies that could potentially be shown. Yes. Where did the bodies go?
Okay.
And then Jessica Alba, so the other people are dead. Jessica Alba's not even dead, not even bruising, not even having any problem. Matter of fact, she had so little challenges that she's fighting other people.
Yes, until the other team comes down to Yeah.
Then what was crazy is that all of a sudden there were 2 or 3 people surrendering. It's like, where did these people come from? And if you're in the desert, even doing kind of like a mission, you're not going to just see 4 random people walking in the distance towards you and wave. You don't know who the fuck those people are.
You're I think you're being too mean, because they say we're heading towards the vehicle. So that's why she waved them down, because she knew that they were coming. So that's where I got that from, because in her headset, they did say, hey, is everything okay? We're heading towards the vehicle.
Look, man, it's my opinion.
I got you.
And then that guy just actually tries to execute those 2 or 3 people.
Yeah, they're
like, and they just brush it off as normal.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you can, like, even in mine, like the opening scene, there were Strickler was doing some shady shit.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I remember.
But there were some consequences that came along with that.
Sure. Yeah.
Even for Strickler, here they're just like, this is another day. He's gonna get you transferred from this command because you bitched about the war crimes.
Yeah.
Now, granted, later on you find out it's the CIA. Now, the CIA doesn't particularly care, I don't think, as an organization. I think it participates in things that could possibly be against the Geneva Convention.
Yes, without a doubt.
But they're so clandestine that you don't even know what these things are. And I think the CIA would probably have an issue of you shooting these people as opposed to apprehending them and
to interrogate
and waterboarding them in Cuba.
Exactly. Which is one of the hangups that I had later on as well with my unbelievability of the story, was because what was his name? Spider's character at the gas station, and we'll get into that at the end because it was towards the ending when he says, I guess he heard the person on the phone saying, hey, soldiers are asking about you, and he says, follow protocol and just say that the CIA is talk to the CIA. Most CIA operatives aren't going to tell you that they're in the CIA and confirm anyway.
Exactly.
So that's one of the hang-ups that I had.
Absolutely. But and they had already mentioned that they were CIA, like, as about as subtle as you could.
Yeah.
Where when she called Spider on the phone and was asked what he was doing, and he's like, I'm at Langley. Well, the only fucking reason he would be at Langley is because that's not a place that you just walk into.
Exactly.
You don't just kind of go there.
Right.
Like you kind of have to belong to the agency
in order to have access. You're right.
So then, you had your protagonist, which was Parker.
Mm-hmm.
And the antagonist was like literally the Swan family.
Yes, the entire family.
Now, I got to admit, though, that for antagonist's sake, right?
Okay.
They definitely went for believability, but I think it was, for me, I like more complicated antagonists.
Okay.
Like in, in screenplays that I've written.
Yes.
None of my antagonists are like, they're obviously antagonists and you know that they are.
Yes.
But they're complex. They're complex characters. They're not like, you're just a shitbag. You're just a bad person.
Yeah.
There's the Swan family were just bad people. And the actors did such a great job radiating how piece of shit they were.
Yes.
Even the sheriff, right? The sheriff.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I never trusted that motherfucker from the get-go.
Yes.
He just had an aura of, and I'm sure the dude is like, not all cops are bad cops, but he just, like as an actor, he just irradiated, do not trust me at all.
Yeah, his that was Mark Webber. He played the sheriff Jesse Swan. Yes.
He did such a, because that shows his kind of acting skills. Like it was so believable that you're just like, as soon as he was introduced, you're like, I don't trust that motherfucker at all. And then the dad, like none of us trust, and none of us should ever trust politicians.
Oh, most definitely. And and some of those corruption on the senators we won't even get into that are happening right now in the real world. So you're right.
But like you kind of expect like if you meet a politician and you actually were to shake their hand, they have to be so slimy.
Yeah.
That as soon as you shake the hand, you wash your hand with rubbing alcohol, you go see a priest regardless of your religious beliefs and have them douse you with holy water, because that's the only way you're going to get that pungent evilness off your skin. And this is what we expect of politicians.
Wow. Do you know who actually portrayed? Because that was Senator Ezekiel Swan. And it was portrayed by Anthony Michael Hall. He portrayed the senator. You know who Anthony Michael Hall was? I couldn't believe it when I saw his face. I was like, no,
I didn't.
So I'm going to age myself a little bit, but he is the one who played in those 80s movies, 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club, Weird Science.
Oh, nice.
That's that Anthony Michael Hall. And
I a douchebag in like half of those too, so he's got this one down.
I couldn't believe when I saw that it was him. I was like, oh, okay. But he played a believable.
Like he radiated evil douchebag senator.
Yes.
and then Elvis, like there was nothing to trust about that motherfucker from the get-go. Okay, number one, name was Elvis.
Yes.
Had a fucking mullet, had a lifted truck with flames on the side, okay?
Yes.
All of that in itself says, I don't trust this son of a bitch.
Yes.
But then you throw in the brother of the sheriff and son of the senator. On top of that, you're like, okay, obviously this dude's a piece of shit. And
that line, piece of shit.
Yeah, no, they did a great job of embodiment of the antagonist. Like those actors did a great job playing their parts. So you had the problem, which was stop the Swan family, which was also the problem. If they don't do it, then terrorists get weapons and bad things happen.
Yes.
Which is kind of weird about it, because it went from good versus evil, which is the kind of theme, but also had a revenge story in it.
Yes.
Which also added to the unbelievability of it all. It's like she's a CIA operative.
Yeah.
And she's killing people.
Okay.
As opposed to taking them in. Because, usually when you come from the law enforcement thing, and unless you're a corrupt cop yourself,
then you want to uphold the law.
You usually uphold the law.
Yes.
Like, whereas, and you see like the differences in like this one and then the one I wrote.
Yes.
Like in the one I wrote, Anatoly didn't come from a position of law at all.
Exactly.
He came from the position of a dude who killed people.
Yeah.
Now how he killed people originally started off as considered more honorable.
Yes.
But he wasn't coming from a position of law.
Exactly.
Like, he is coming from a position of law. Like, I need to uphold the law. I'm a CIA operative. Now,
which is a contrast in itself from the opening credits when she tried to save those terrorists from getting shot point blank, and then she takes matters into her own hands later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
And so you had your inciting event when the father killed what was crazy is it took me a couple of times to figure out I was her father.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
I don't know if it was because of my volume or whatever, but it wasn't until I guess she said pops and started like seeing him as a father figure did I realize this was her father. Maybe I missed something or whatever. But yeah, that was an inciting event for it, which kind of spun this new life that she was going to have, which really wasn't a new life necessarily, because she still went back to the CIA.
Yeah. But the thing is, she's a highly trained, assassin for the most part. And if you I'm sure that if you do piss an assassin off by killing their father, then I'm pretty sure that they're going to have some
of course
hatred for you.
No, of course. Yeah. But it was the fact that like her friend's now involved, who's also in the CIA. I mean, you had several things that, like I said, were unrealistic. Now, granted, it is a movie, so you're not going to be able to go completely based on what it would be like in reality.
Exactly.
But I think you could have tightened it a little bit and made it more compelling and more believable.
Sure.
Like the Army Depot just so happens to be there.
Yes.
And their friends happen to be in there. Yes. Do arms somehow get out of Army depots and different things? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't happen all the time because it is a very convoluted process.
Yes.
To do this, I just think they made it too unrealistic, as far as almost like anyone can do this.
Yes. So that's it as well, too. That was one of the other points that I had, too, towards the end, when she ended up, they saw that it led to the Army Depot, and then she went out by herself, and the two Army guys were, go get the CO, and then I'll stay with her. And all she said, go get a medic right now. I don't think any Army person is going to leave someone you don't know with any credentials in the middle of your Army depot to go get a doctor, although they're hurt.
You're absolutely not going to.
Exactly.
In fact, you're going to have apprehend her ass and take her with you.
Exactly. Exactly. That's another reason why I scored it the way I did. I was like, yeah, this is just a little bit too far-fetched for me. And especially you and I coming from a military background.
and that's the thing too, is I think that the difference is, and it might even be us, is because we have served, we understand these intricacies. Yes. Somebody who hasn't served, which is 99% of people,
sure,
they may not know these things, or they may know, or they may not. They may think that they can just do this shit and this makes perfect sense to them. But for us, we're like, yeah, no.
Exactly. We know the security and the intricacies of security for an installation.
Especially one that's full of ammunition.
Exactly.
Yes. Then you had the midpoint where Parker is arrested.
Yes.
Which kind of emphasized that they were all the antagonists because they tried to distract her while he was doing what he needed to do.
Yes.
I don't know, that scene was decent, I guess, for corrupt cops, and a corrupt senator,
doing the corrupt actions or partaking in corrupt actions that they would normally take anyway. So yeah, I'll agree with you there.
And then you obviously had the climax where he's killing she's killing Swan members. My problem with that one was like she obviously killed the senator. They didn't show it, but she walked away with a blade that was bloody. So she either cut him up or she killed him.
I want to say, because with that part, I want to say she just maybe cut off a finger, maybe cut him up in order for him to talk. Because
she killed everybody else,
Yeah, but he's a U.S. senator. You just don't kill a U.S. senator. I don't care who you are, So that's the reason why I think she left him alive, in order to probably
Possibly.
answer for his crimes. I would think
Possibly. That could be it.
that's what I'm going for. Just
Glad she
positive.
killed Elvis. Elvis needed to die from like Act 1.
You're right. You are right. You are right. Especially when, because you could see, and you understood that he was a racist, not just because of his, his appearance, but because he also used the word spick.
Yes.
Which, as a Puerto Rican, I really don't mind that word, because it does stand for Spanish person in control. So we're good. So, but yeah, you could get a sense of how he truly felt, But yeah, other than that, I think my 4.5 is pretty solid. I think.
Absolutely. So,
Oh, I did want to mention to you. Remember last week when we spoke, I said there was something that Jessica Alba did with Gabrielle Union, and it was a series called LA's Finest. So she was in an action movie, because they played detectives, but it wasn't a movie. It was a TV series, but it was based on Bad Boys 4. Remember Bad Boys 2? Martin Lawrence's sister.
I didn't even watch Bad Boys 1.
Oh my!
Okay, the fact.
Don't even.
Look. The fact
How
that
could you not?
the fact it's called Bad Boys is the reason why I didn't watch it. Okay,
It was a good movie.
there is literally no motivation in my entire. Okay, look. I like that was the one with Will Smith, and that was Will Smith
And Martin Lawrence.
pre-slapping Chris Rock days.
Yes.
And Martin Lawrence. Like, I have no problem with Martin Lawrence. I don't consider Martin Lawrence a very good actor.
What?
Look.
But he's a comedian, so
that's my best.
as a comedic actor,
He's not that funny. I find him okay funny. Like that person who says something every now and then and you kind of chuckle about that, that's Martin Lawrence, okay? And Will Smith was, like, he's had some good movies and good things. I mean, I grew up on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Okay.
But, like, he did a couple really good movies. But he's also done some pretty shitty ones prior to the Chris Rock slap days.
Sure.
Like, nothing about that makes me want to watch it. Like, just, like, everything about it just says, this is going to be a piece of shit movie, and that's just me, okay? And
it is just you.
and I can't bring myself to fucking watch it. I can't. It would be like I would have to watch it for something like this.
Okay.
There's no universe, and I'm talking no universe in all the multiverses, to where I'm sitting there going, you know what? I want to watch a movie, Bad Boys.
Well, I was just saying that Jessica Alba and Gabrielle Union did LA's Finest, a TV show.
I'm still.
And it was based on Martin Lawrence's sister in Bad Boys 2, Sid Burnett.
No.
That's all I said. So she was in action movies, and she actually did really good in that. Jessica Alba actually did really good in that show. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Look, man, I started off with, I don't know if she did, okay? I'm telling.
But I'm just explaining to the viewers.
I'm telling you, this is how I felt.
Gotcha.
And it's 2024, Jose. We've been friends for like 13 years.
Yes.
It's okay to acknowledge how I felt, Jose.
Yes. Well, it certainly is. You're absolutely correct. Oh, I tell you. But yes, the 4.5 stands up. You still good with your 6?
Nah, like I said 5 or 6. So I think.
Okay. All right.
But now that I think about it, I think it's more of a 5, man, because.
Gotcha.
Like I said, I liked her fighting in it. She had kind of like John Wick moves in it.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool.
Yes.
Because like I said, since I didn't watch Bad Boy shit, and I didn't watch this other shit that spun off of it, I didn't see Jessica Alba in any movie doing John Wick style action scenes, so I didn't know what to expect of that. And I thought, I mean, personally, I could not see her doing those moves in real life at all. Jessica Alba just does not give me the vibes of somebody who's John Wick style fighter. She doesn't, you know?
Okay. Okay.
She gives me the vibes of the person protected by John Wick
Okay.
or somebody, because there are people that like the chick who played in The Mandalorian. Remember her name?
Okay.
I forget her name, but she was like a Ultimate Fighter child person. In that,
No, I forgot her name. I don't know.
the beautiful one. Well, I forget her name. I could look it up, but well, she was in Mandalorian. She's a brunette. She's pretty good looking. For her, if she were to do like John Wick style fighting and kicking, or even like, yeah, or even like Angelina Jolie, right? Angelina Jolie gives a little bit more of those vibes of somebody who would John Wick style fight, you know?
Gotcha. Okay. So, what do you rate this? What would you say if someone asked you about this movie? Mine is, I would say, Hells to the Nah.
I mean, look, we need to come up with a different catchphrase. I'm too white with this Hells to the Nah shit, okay? Like,
Hails to the Nah for me, sir.
okay. I'm going to say 5. It isn't like a total dumpster fire.
Yes.
Like The Vampire Next Door was a total dumpster fire.
Gotcha.
But this is a shit movie. Like, it's not a good movie. Like, it's something that if it were on, you could watch it, like, and not really get too pissed off about it. You're probably gonna check your phone a few times. Like, but it's, yeah. I mean, that's where I put it at.
Gotcha. Okay. There you go.
Because I can't bad boys my way into the House to the Nah shit. All
right, we'll come up
with another one, man.
We'll come up with something for you. I like Hells to the Nah. It's pretty good, but we'll see. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Until next week.
All
right, my friend. Have a great week.
All right, boy.
Bye.